This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Prime.
One of the most underrated careers in India definitely has to be that of an illustrator. Their work fills our lives every day, whether it is a happy print on a product that you just bought, whether it is the political cartoon that you've seen on the newspaper, or just an illustration online, or something as simple as the artwork hanging on the wall in your house. These people and their work help lighten the day for most of us. Unfortunately, this career path is not something that's easy for most Indians in the country, which is why on board today we have two young illustrators to talk about their journey and how they're making it big in the industry, as well as veterans to talk about the challenges. Here's a look. A 20-something with a mission. That's the best way to describe Alicia Souza, one of Bangalore's most popular young illustrators and artists, and a former founding member of brand Chumbak. Today, a successful freelance artist with hundreds of inquiries a day, it wasn't easy for her to zero in on her career. That was until she was first offered a job at a newspaper.
Just a bit before I graduated, I realized how much I absolutely love illustrating. And I was a little spoiled because just when I came out of college, I got my first job at a newspaper. And it was just a little job. I just had to draw some puzzle or something like that. I remember the editor telling me the biggest scope for cartoonists and for my style, what would be appropriate is getting into political cartoons. I kind of had to find my way as to what I really liked doing. The easiest way, I think, was to realize what I didn't like doing. So that was definitely out of the window.
The disconnect with serious illustrations and topics is what led her to finally settle on her present style, one that reflects her happy-go-lucky attitude to life.
My style tends to be a lot more happier and colorful, so I don't get to do a lot of projects and obviously deserve because nothing related to sadness or super serious. So most of my drawings come under, so for corporates it'll be things like regulations that need to be lightened. A lot of products, so corporate gifting. I do a lot of products for my brand as well, and licensing things, and publication, of course. So I get to do a little page on Tinkle and other publications of Amrit Chitrakatha and other storybooks and stuff.
Alicia's style certainly hit it off if the number of fans she has on her Facebook page is anything to go by. A group of over 50,000 people and growing have become fans of her quirky drawings that depict bits of everyday life. While her predecessors from the 90s may have struggled for recognition, Alicia is a young artist who believes in making the most of her freelance career. And social networking is central to that aim.
Facebook, again, is my main avenue, like I said. I started posting when I just became a freelancer about 3.5 years ago. And so in the beginning, it was really hard. Like, I was scared to put up my first illustration. But I did and start the page, and I started it. And the best part about Facebook is reactions are really quick. So for blogs, sometimes you have to sign up and then put a post and then put a comment or something like that. But for Facebook, you can even do something as simple as click a like. And that's what's brilliant. So I started posting, and I started posting daily. And oddly enough, that's where I get a good 90% of my jobs, not from Facebook, but people who've seen my work on Facebook. So to the point where since I started Facebook, I've actually never had a folio. And so it's worked out brilliantly.
But the journey was not as easy as it sounds.
When I just started, it was really hard. I did not know anyone when I came here, so I had to go and pretty much it was pretty much not cold calling, but I had to go and meet people even though I knew things were not going to fall in place. And that's the case of any business. So people have to realize it's like a business. So for the first year, you will struggle. Chances are you will struggle. And then over time, you can do really well. Touch wood, I mean, things are going superbly well for me, and I want to be like the living example of this field being fantastic and so much opportunity being there.
Today, Alicia has moved away from being just an illustrator with sketches online to taking corporate orders, creating illustrations that raise awareness, and has even started licensing and creating her own products sold on various e-commerce sites. Her tip to aspiring young freelancers is to be diligent.
Many kids, and oddly enough, even I, of course, when I started out, I was under the misconception that I'm going to be drawing the whole day. But that's absolutely not true. Half my day is spent on things like emails, marketing, talking to clients, doing my accounts, the bane of my existence, and all these little things that are part of even small businesses becomes part of being a freelancer because it is a business. And except you're the business, you're basically selling yourself as an illustrator. And yeah, that's pretty much the biggest part of being an illustrator. Another thing is looking at different avenues. So besides, once you become an illustrator, and even for me, why I'm getting into licensing is because once you become an illustrator, looking at different ways you can expand.
Goda Anirudh is another young illustrator looking to make it big in the world of comic book strips, cartoons and illustration. While her peers, who were also illustrators, went to art and design schools, Goda did her masters at the London School of Economics. Today, she is a full-time lawyer and part-time cartoonist, but her love for the art is obvious.
But at the end of the day, if it is something that you're very passionate about, that you really like from the moment you wake up in the morning till the time you go to sleep, if this is all that I could do, I would definitely do this all day long, because it doesn't tire me. There's no factor of boredom or, you know, oh, this is becoming too much, or I'm just tired of doing this. You know, there's nothing of that sort. I could just do this all day. And there's so much variety and, you know, art that's involved in it. It's very exciting.
The 27-year-old not only manages to balance both her passions in life, but she also has found a way to marry the two, the result of which is a comic book in her inimitable style called Pickles and Lota.
Actually, if you notice the life of a lawyer, there is a lot of humor that's involved, and a lot of my drawings, while I started off drawing on day-to-day humor, general humor, nothing particular to lawyers per se, over a period of time, I gradually kind of started focusing my cartoons on lawyer, legal-based humor, both on the bar side as well as on the bench side. I'm a corporate lawyer who does not go to court. So I do have long days in front of a computer and basically drafting and vetting agreements and things like that. That gives me a decent amount of time. I wouldn't say a lot of time, but enough time to kind of pick out small little humorous things that happen on a day-to-day basis. And I do carry my iPad to work. So as and when I pick up one or two things that kind of cross my mind, I try and put it in the form of a cartoon so that people relate to it more.
While Goda initially started off her comic strips with just a few friends who were audience, the word soon spread. Today she has exhibited 75 of her cartoons at the Indian Cartoon Gallery in Bangalore, has published a book with her Pickles and Lota comic strip, and also publishes her work in legal news website barandbench.com. She believes that there is a wide market for illustrators today.
Yes, money is a factor, but you know, today everything can be commercialized, starting from making merchandise to drawing for various authors, illustrating book covers,
to say music, any music CDs or albums or whatever it may be, there is a lot of scope in today's world.
Koda's journey to being a legal cartoonist began when she was a child. She doodled a lot and her passion for the art was clear to her. Her journey from lawyer to illustrator was no easy task though, but she says constant practice and posting is the key to being a successful cartoonist.
The biggest challenge is keeping yourself in public memory. Public memory is extraordinarily short-lived. So if you don't draw for 2 or 3 days in a row, people will just forget about you. And they'll say, oh yeah, I used to follow this strip, I don't know what happened. Because there's so much in the market. There's absolutely so much in the market. You need to keep at it continuously. And you yourself will see your thoughts growing. You're able to put in a lot more in a small strip. Like initially when I started off, it used to take about 4 or 5 strips to convey one message. If you're able to show all of that without too much of noise in one cartoon, I think you've made your mark.
Up next, we have acclaimed illustrators Balraj KN and Paul Fernandez talking to us about their journeys and the industry as it is today.